everyone. My name is Ezra Bateman. I'm here with screenwriter and producer Aaron Rahsaan Thomas and actor Shemar Moore. How you fellas doing tonight?
Wonderful. I'm wonderful. It's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well. You know, I've been a big fan of yours. My mom used to have me watching Young and the Restless. What's it like?
Malcolm Winters. Don't talk Malcolm on TV.
So, what's it like for you? You know, years later, going back. Do you ever go back and watch yourself just for fun?
You know, I don't. I stay away from the first 2 years of my career. I do. I just. I mean, I got them on VHS tape. That's how old I am. VHS. But you know, But yeah, first 2 years and a lot of my Soul Train days. I'm like, ooh. But you know what? I don't believe in regrets, and every you got to start somewhere. But I sometimes I sit back and I'll go back, but I can't watch the first 2 years. I couldn't stand still. I kept slapping my legs. I couldn't. I just was trying to figure it out, and then I kind of just took a breath and I started to get it. So, but I do, you know, I don't watch myself a lot. I don't, you know, I'll watch myself in the process. Like now with S.W.A.T, like you know, I want to watch myself to learn, not to go, ooh, look at me, I'm on TV. I've been doing this long enough to know what I look like and all that, but I want to make sure that I'm being authentic to the stories. But 24 years in the game, I've grown so much, I've learned so much, and it's a really exciting time for me because, you know, I could say, well, why didn't I get S.W.A.T 10 years ago? I was ready to be a badass and a superhero back then. And I just believe if you have faith, if you have patience, if you always believe, and it's tough sometimes, but you got to find that inner strength. Everything I've done in my personal life, everything I've done in my career life, all the characters I've played, from Malcolm Winters to Derek Morgan on Criminal Minds to Diary of a Mad Black Woman, whatever it's been in my journey has all led to this perfect storm because I'm in the right perfect possible place at the right perfect possible time to take on Daniel Hondo Harrelson and S.W.A.T. So this is just the next chapter of my career, and I'm really excited about what's happening.
So for you, Mr. Thomas, you know, soul food, and now you know doing your own show. How was it? Is it, you know, do you look back and see the differences in the original screenwrites that you did, and what's your process for that?
Well, first shout out to Bennett College and Morehouse, the house. You know, my experience actually coming from Morehouse, a lot of it started there. I went there because Spike Lee went there, and I went there because Trey Styles, the character from Boys in the Hood, went there, you know, at the end of that movie. My experience, my life was very much similar to the life of that character that Cuba Gooding Jr. played in that film. You know, the idea has always been for me is that I knew that Hollywood obviously is a very competitive and challenging path. But I also knew I had grown up in an environment with two parents that were always very supportive, and I always knew, you know, you put your mind to it, you're persistent, you put in the work, you do the homework, you know, you'll be able to accomplish anything that you want. I always truly believe that. I still truly believe that. And so I was fortunate enough at an early stage in my career and arriving in Hollywood where, you know, I was able to be around not only successful people, but also successful people that understood, you know, my path, my point of view. You know, I was an intern at Soul Food, the series, very early on. I was a writer's assistant there. I worked for talented writers like Felicia Henderson and Mara Baraka Kill, and Salima Kill, and Kenya Barris, who now has created Blackish. You know, there's probably 5 or 6 writers from that early stage of Soul Food now who are all off doing their own shows, including myself. So when I look at that period, even though it was early and I was raw myself, I look at it as an invaluable foundation that cemented for me that, yes, not only is your voice valuable and powerful, but also your voice is viable in a business sense. And so I still take that to heart to this day. That's one of the things that, you know, definitely allowed myself and others to put this project together and make S.W.A.T.
Mr. Moore, for a good bulk of your career, you've played a law enforcement role. If you weren't an actor, would you consider being in law enforcement?
Not initially back in the getting into the game, but now that I've met so many law enforcement officials, I don't know if I'd want to do it for a living, but I have so much profound respect for what they're doing. But what I do want to do, that Aaron has done, is I want to go out on these missions. Like we've been invited to go and tag along with SWAT and LAPD and go out, on cases and things. And they're not going to give us guns and things like that, but we get to literally be in the cars and shadow them. I haven't done that quite yet, but I just have so much respect for that what they choose to do for the sake of fighting for the good and having to deal with so much unpredictable dark and never knowing, every day you just don't know, and the families having to accept that, and wondering if he or she is going to come home. And I mean, that's a big risk. It's like going into the military. It's like, there's the thing that drives these people, and I have to show the utmost respect for that. But I'm having a lot of fun learning all the technical aspects. I'm having a lot of fun playing pretend G.I. Joe and making it as real as I can. I'm a badass from action to cut, and then I go home to my two bulldogs and my little backyard boogie. So yeah, I'm good with just playing pretend, but doing right by these cats. If I'm gonna be 100, I'm gonna be 100.
I know you said that there will be some topical, things in there, but will you also draw from, personal experiences from your life?
Always a good storyteller, and it's not just me. We have a very talented writing staff. I'm working with a very talented mentor for me, which is Sean Ryan. Who always comes at things from a very character grounded point of view. And it's just tremendously supportive and knowledgeable. But we have a staff of 9 writers, and each one of those writers brings a different perspective to the table. We have a very diverse staff. We have 4 women writers. We have 5 writers of color on that staff. Everyone kind of has their own walk of life. Single people, married people, young people, middle-aged people. Atheists, Christians, Muslims, so when we come into the room, a good storyteller is always going to be able to pull from a grounded place of what is the story about and why do I want to tell it? And we wouldn't have it any other way on SWAT. We want people, collaborators, actors, musicians, writers, producers who are always going to be able to pull from things that they care about and are passionate about. And that's the culture we've set up.
From personal experiences from your life to now, are you thankful for those experiences that have now, put you in a position to be able to tell a different story?
Absolutely. I feel as though the experience that I've gone through has been a blessing, absolutely a blessing. I don't look at any challenges or obstacles as hindrances. I look at them as learning lessons, learning opportunities. And so everything that I am is only because of what I've been and where I've been and who I've been around and who I've been supported by. I wouldn't have it any other way. And definitely everything that I was in growing up in the neighborhood that I grew up with the friends that I had, some who are still here, some who never made it. I think about them daily. And we're breaking stories right now for Hondo, a few of them based on real life situations that myself or other writers went through, 1 or 2, featuring situations with friends or old friends that I may have had that may or may not be here. So everything that I've been definitely informs what I work on. And like I said, I think any good storyteller operates pretty much the same way.
Well, thank you, Phyllis, for your time. Be sure to tune into SWAT November 2nd, 2017 on CBS.